That would be one way of getting into the house. But the noise of breaking glass would alert the soldiers posted nearby. I'd rather not think about what those savages would do to this old man. And me. This quilted fabric fits the size of the window perfectly. Okay, let's try this. And let's cross our fingers that the seat cover absorbs the noise of the breaking glass. If the soldiers next door find me, they'll blow my head off without bothering to ask questions.
You've done it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm safe now. God bless you, stranger. You saved my life.
Take care of yourself, old man. And I don't have to tell you, don't open the door to strangers. Let's see what's on the other side of this hedge. No! Please! These visions! My head!
You won't get any of his things! I won't allow it! Do you hear me?
Michael, is that you? Thank God we found you. It's me, Chris. Don't you recognize me? But there is a solution, Michael. All is not lost. There is still a possibility of salvation for us. For each and every one of us.
You have to stop this, Michael. You have to quit.
I can't do it.
It's destroying us, don't you see? It's killing us.
It's that demon inside me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
These visions are getting more intense all the time. The pain is unbearable. Who's Chris? Salvation is still possible, he said. Could that be true? And once again, that female voice has been haunting me since I woke up. Who is she? Why was she so distressed? What the hell happened to us? Or is going to happen to us?
There's a flat metal object buried in the bushes, but I can't see it very well from this side. I have no intention of... As a suicide option, I think I'd rather use the park next door. I don't think I'd gain anything by using this here. What for? I'd only end up breaking the glass, or even worse, cutting my hand with it. There's a flat metal object buried in the bushes, but I can't see it very well from this side of the fence. Forget it. By the sound of it, there must be a massive amount of voltage running through the wire on this fence. I'd only manage to fry myself. I'm afraid I can't do that. I don't see where I can put this stick here, or why I'd want to either. It doesn't look like it's having any effect. Despite the condition of the bolt cutters, I think they'd be capable of cutting the wire, but it's metal, and there must be thousands of volts running through it. I'd end up frying myself in a matter of seconds. Even if I could, I wouldn't cut this object in two. Then, I wouldn't have it anymore. I don't think doing this One of the elastic bands that was holding the seat cover in the abandoned car. This elastic band, what used to be a round subway sign, is now too... It serves, well, I'd bet. I have no intention of sticking my arms through this electrified fence. As a suicide option, I think I'd rather use the park next door. More of that barbed wire that adorns all the city's buildings. If I get up close enough, I can hear a slight buzz, a sure sign that this fence is electrified. From here, I'll have a magnificent view of the hospital compound. In truth, the part that's visible from the road is only a fraction of it. The vegetation conceals a much larger area. The trees and bushes conceal structures where hundreds and hundreds of metal barrels are being stored. Whatever's inside them, there must be thousands of gallons of it down there. Someone carved a suicide note into the wood. I hope you can find a way to forgive me someday. And it's signed with a pair of illegible initials. You can smell these dead creatures. I have no intent. Oh no. It's starting again. It's amazing. Everything's changing. Everything. Everything is mutating, and I haven't even moved. I don't understand. I don't understand anything. I don't mean to bother you, but could I ask you a few questions?
Hey, it seems like we have a nosy rat in the camp.
Nice motorcycle.
It is, isn't it? It's ours. So get anywhere near it, and you'll end up against that wall.
You don't have the authority to touch it, or point at it, or even look at it.
Dare to touch it with your grubby hands, and you're a dead man. I guarantee it. Got it?
Okay, understood. I won't bother you.
Get lost.
Impossible. If these bolt cutters didn't have any effect on the chain and padlock, I doubt they're going to get anywhere with these bars either. This elastic band... Nothing can be done. A few yards away I can see a great mass that accumulated in there. Ugh. A few yards away that accumulated... A thick wall of it's a good 20... Hey, you guys!
Hello again, pal.
Have you come back to spend some time with Rose, or do you just enjoy wasting our time?
That poor girl's not right in the head.
Rose is an adult. She's earning a living. Like what?
Mind your own business, pal.
You're abusing a poor, disturbed girl.
Us? Taking advantage?
We're giving her room and board, but she's gotta work. That's the only thing we ask of her in return. That's the—
Bring us the money, then you can get in the van with her. Hey, do us a favor and spare us all that sanctimonious crap from the—
I don't have anything more to this. Hello, mister. Are you still waiting?
Still.
I should be going.
Hi, Mike. So what brings you here?
I should be going.
Fine. Remember, no question.
Oh no! Here comes that sensation again. It's like, while everything around...
Good God. It looks like quite a large river, but nowadays... Better not. Though. So, I just made it. They could be the perfect projectile, but these nails would end up shredding the rubber band on the slingshot. Besides, something tells me I'm not very good at using these things. I don't quite see how I could... A subway sign, that's what happens when... They could be the perfect projectile. Besides, I'm not gonna pick them up. I'm sure it took the kids a long time to collect all those rocks for their target practice. Besides, I bet my aim is worse than theirs.
Oh no. It's amazing. Everything is mutating, and I haven't even moved. I don't understand. I don't understand anything.
I'm not gonna... Besides...
Hello, Michael.
Hi, kids.
We got Mom out of the house. Now what about that reward?
Yes. I think I have something you might like. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. They're just kids. And this could get them into trouble. I know perfectly well what they're going to use it for, but their aim is amazing. And a little commotion on the camp fence could be a good thing for everyone. Besides, they want to do something for their father. And those pigs at the gate deserve a surprise.
What is it, Michael? Tell us, what is it?
I know it's something you're really going to like. Here you go. It's a slingshot.
It's a slingshot! Thank you, Michael. With this, we'll be able to hit the watchtowers. Come on, let's try it! That'll teach you, pigs!
Attention, all units in Sector 12. Report immediately to the North Watchtower. I repeat, report immediately to the North Watchtower.
What's going on? I don't know. It must be something serious. Come on, let's go.
You hit him! Haha, yes! So what do we do now? I don't know. We've got to get out of here. Quickly! Run!
I better take this with me. I'm not gonna pick them up. I'm sure it took the kids a long time to collect all those rocks for their target practice. Besides, I bet my aim is worse than theirs. Oh, shit. The key's not in the ignition. One of the soldiers on sentry duty must have it. Anyway, I should have figured as much. Clean and well-maintained. This bike is without a doubt the best-looking object in the entire refugee camp. Although, that's not saying much considering the disastrous condition of everything around me. A small military sentry box with no door. Okay, I'll wear the gloves to cut the electrified wire. Perfect. Let's see what's down here. It's a trapdoor, and it looks like it hasn't been used in a long, long time. This door leads to a dingy back room. What the hell could be in here? I can hear the buzz of electricity coming from inside, but I can't figure out anything more without a little more light. Great. It's a hell of a drop, and the railing wobbles when you touch it. Awesome! Wait a minute though. Isn't the idea of installing this to make it safe for people to cross from one side to the other?
What is this place? Where the devil am I?
It seems like the small building at the ground level is just camouflage. The most important part is here underground. Are all of them dissolved? How many patients can there be packed in here? Dozens? Hundreds? This is horrible! It doesn't look that safe. Might need her knocking just walking over it. This catwalk just revealed something to me about my former life, that I have a tremendous fear of heights. Let's see if this grate can be removed. Perfect. It looks like this hole leads to a passageway on the other side. The handle that opens this rusty monstrosity looks worn out. It looks like this closet is used frequently, and with very little care. A tiny lock is preventing me from opening the door, and despite its size, it seems to be very strong. I'm not going to open it this way. I don't see any cracks in the door big enough to get any leverage. Maybe a professional burglar could do it, but I can never pick this lock with just a handful of rusty nails. I doubt I'd accomplish anything using the pieces of the metal sign with that. It won't open that way. It's sagging from the weight, and so dilapidated that I doubt this janitor's cart has many more trips left in it. There's a bunch of papers stuck to the door of the closet. There seems to be some type of bureaucratic form among them. Military personnel, GPS, targets, rifles. I'm afraid what's described on these pages doesn't have very much to do with typical medical activities in a hospital. Military personnel, GPS, targets, rifles. I'm afraid what's described on these pages doesn't have very much to do with typical medical activities in a hospital. Military personnel. I'm afraid what's described on these pages doesn't have very much to do with typical medical activities in a hospital. Better not. I'm an intruder in this building, and it's under the Army's control. Going down to the main hall of the hospital would be walking straight into the lion's den. The future is in our hands. Collaborate, rebuild, report. From the text, I say this poster must have been part of a government campaign launched after the Great Wave. A row of anonymous, ramshackle lockers. I get the impression that everything in here could fall apart at any moment. Maybe in solidarity with those poor unfortunates screaming in the main hall. More of that official propaganda. Your silence is the enemy. Help the cleanup brigades, is the slogan of this poster. Unlike his neighbors, this door is hanging open. All I see inside are remnants of stickers and torn photographs. It looks like someone left in a hurry, without even saying goodbye. We must be very deep underground, and the blades of this fan are barely turning at half speed. That explains why the air down here is almost unbreathable. Locked. Of course. I'm starting to get annoyed with this sense of ownership I see in all the people with closets, lockers, and other storage furniture in this city. This glass cabinet has dozens of medications stored inside, classified by type. Antibiotics, anti-inflammatory drugs, diuretics, and, painkillers. I'd rather use a key to open this case, but I'm a bit short on time, so...
Who is it? Who's there?
Oh, excuse me,
What are you doing here? Have you come to steal something? Take one more step and I'll call the soldiers.
No, wait, please, don't do that.
Security, this is Nurse Uma Grundy. I need you to come right away.
No, wait! I thought the first priority of people in the medical profession was to save lives, and you're going to get me killed.
Don't you dare judge me. You have no idea what we're going through in here. Our priority is our patients, and yours should be to get out of here as fast as you can, if you value your life.
Wait a minute. Did you say Uma? Nurse Uma?
Yes, that's my name.
Wait, please don't turn me in. I know your father. I saved his life just a few hours ago. They were going to deport him to the refugee camp, but I was able to stop it.
My God, did you say my father? Tell me, how is he? Has anything happened to him?
Don't worry, Uma. He's safe. He told me about you and your work in this place. He was worried. He'll want to know that you're all right. Wait, please don't turn me in.
This is Nurse Uma Grundy. It turned out to be a false alarm. You don't have to come, thank you.
Thank you, Uma. You did the right thing. My name is Michael.
But now you should explain why you burst in here like that. What are you looking for, Michael?
I came to get medicine. I need a cure for the dissolved.
Cure? There's no such thing. You won't find it here or anywhere else. The authorities distributed a memo among the medical staff months ago. I'm sure you can still find a copy of it around here somewhere. It told us that they've definitely abandoned the search for a medicine. You made a mistake risking your life to get in here. The only thing we store here is pain. This place is a tomb for those poor infected devils, but also for the people who work here. I'm sorry, Michael. The dissolved are condemned to death.
No, that can't be. There has to be a solution. A cure. Oh, man. Poor Rod. Poor Colin. Condemned to die. I heard their cries of pain up there. What really happens to the dissolved?
These people suffer the most excruciating pain and die in the most horrible way I've ever seen. The first symptoms are bouts of nausea and fainting, which become more frequent and prolonged as the disease progresses, until in the end their entire metabolism enters a state of shock. Then their entire cell structure dissolves. It simply disintegrates. There's no medical explanation. It just happens. But there's something even stranger about the disease.
What could be stranger than what you just told me?
The dissolved become erratic, unpredictable, eccentric. They're uncontrollable. That's why the army fears them. They're afraid of their unpredictable behavior, but also of their strange messages. So the sole function of this place is to keep them locked away, hidden, and under the army's control, until death takes them off their hands, one by one. It's also why people who harbor the dissolved are punished. And it's also the reason for the existence of the cleanup brigades.
And what is it that makes the dissolved so unpredictable and dangerous?
They know, Michael. You probably think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, they know. They talk about events no one else knows about. They sense things. They bring back information from the places they go. And they talk to the dead there, Michael. They communicate with the dead. They know, Michael. That's all.
They're just sick people, Uma.
No! They're more than just ordinary sick people. You wouldn't talk like that if you had been living with them, and their messages and their prophecies, all these months.
but I thought they were just controlling the patients to keep the disease from spreading.
But that's a lie. A blatant lie. The spread of the disease is accelerating. The number of cases is multiplying every day. But it's not contagious. We doctors and nurses have been treating the sick for months, in direct contact with them and their remains. And the rate of contagion among us is no higher than out there. The army is lying.
But then, how is the disease spread?
We don't know, Michael. No one knows. What we do know is that it's not caused by direct contact with the victims. There's another reason for the Army's secrecy about the dissolved. Fear. It's human nature to fear the unknown. We tend to panic when faced with something we don't understand. And this damn disease is more than any of us can handle.
The cleanup brigades. I've seen how they behave.
They're savages. I despise them. They're like predatory animals, heartless and unscrupulous. The rest of the staff refuses to share the facilities with them, so their lockers are out in the hallway. That's where they keep everything they need for their hunting expeditions. The GPSs, the disease detection tests, their ID badges. Each unit is made up of 2 soldiers, 1 doctor and 1 nurse. I mean, doctors and nurses collaborating with those bloodthirsty animals. But then they say, what do you want? It's our job, and somebody's got to do it.
Yes, that phrase sounds familiar. It's bone-chilling. Police and criminals using exactly the same words to justify their actions. You gotta do what you gotta do. That seems to be the slogan of the executioners of this new world. But I heard in the refugee camp, they said a cure is being produced and stored here. Well, if that's not the case, what's the purpose of a building like this?
The Army deliberately keeps that rumor about a possible cure alive. You see, as long as people still have some hope left, it is much easier to control the city more effectively. But it's a lie.
I understand.
This medical center was built just after the Great Wave, taking advantage of some abandoned underground facilities. That was when the authorities were beginning to work on their project to rebuild the city. They told us the building was going to be used to take in the first patients. Of course, we had no idea the disease would become so widespread. I left my job in a clinic downtown to come here. I wanted to lend a hand. They demanded total confidentiality about our work to avoid causing panic in the population. Not even my father knew what we were really doing in here.
Yes, he told me that when I asked him about this place.
At first, we treated the patients with great care. There was medicine to ease their suffering and even research into a possible cure. Everything was going smoothly.
And then what happened?
Things started to go wrong. When the number of patients multiplied, we couldn't keep up. And then we began to run out of even the most basic supplies. And that was when the Army took over complete control of the center.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Then they sealed off the building. No one was allowed to leave, not even us. We doctors and nurses have been shut in here for months, isolated without even a glimpse of daylight. They say it's for security reasons. It's for our own safety. Oh yeah. Now our medical care is limited to wrapping up the patients in plastic bags, like the ones they use to transport cadavers, and then simply waiting for them to die, doing what little we can do to ease their suffering. Then we dispose of their remains, dissolving the black bags in acid for decontamination. And that's about it. That's all we can do with the resources we have, and sometimes it's just too much to bear.
Wait a minute. Did you just say the dissolved make prophecies?
Let me tell you a story. When I first came to the center, I became friendly with a patient, a 13-year-old girl. All the time I was taking care of her, she never stopped chatting. She told me all about the underground highways. She said she went there every day.
Underground highways?
She said they all went there when they lost consciousness. Obviously, I felt great pity for the girl, but in time I also came to feel tremendous fear. I was afraid of that poor, hopeless child. Her visions, her dreams, her messages terrified me. And then one night she sat down next to another patient, an older woman who looked surprisingly healthy. According to our calculations, this woman still had a few months to live. The woman had just lost consciousness. "Leave me alone with her," the girl said to me. "It won't be long now." and she took the woman's hand. And just seconds later, the woman started to dissolve, shrieking and writhing in pain, until there was nothing left of her but a puddle of brown, viscous liquid. The girl turned to me and said, "I knew she was leaving us, and I didn't want her to go alone. That would have been very sad, wouldn't it, Uma?" The girl's face was still dripping with the remains of the patient. She knew what was going to happen, Michael. She saw it. From then on, my fear became uncontrollable. I felt defenseless next to her.
I understand.
Finally, my panic was so great that I refused to go anywhere near her. And I even, God forgive me, I felt secretly relieved when she herself finally dissolved. They know, Michael, and that's why they're so dangerous to the people in power now. Talk to my father, Michael. Tell him that I'm all right, that he shouldn't worry, that we'll be seeing each other soon, very soon.